The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Portal to Ascension Radio. Are you ready to expand your consciousness? Your hosts are Neil and Sol Gore. This is a revolutionary, cutting-edge, and deeply esoteric program. Join us as we explore the nature of our reality. Here is Neil and Sol.
Welcome, everyone. This is Neil Gore, one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Sol Gore, and this is Portal to Ascension Radio, and we are actually right now live here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yep, we're here with Paola Harris, and we actually came into New Mexico just a few days ago now, and having the most amazing experiences, meeting the most incredible people. We started out in Albuquerque.
Yeah, we met Jose Padilla, who actually had an experience with a UFO, the first UFO crash landing in 1945, 2 years before the Roswell 1947 one. So that was pretty interesting. We hung out with him, went out to the crash site, did some video of him, did a lot of talking, because his story is just completely incredible. It's amazing. And he was only, he was 9 years old. He was a 9-year-old boy who brought in him and his friend, who was 6 years old, just saw this ET UFO crash landing.
He was only 9, as you said, and he's the only sole survivor left of this experience. And this whole entire trip has been extremely eye-opening for us. It's the first time that us as Portal to Ascension representatives have gone on the road to actually be a part of the field work. And Paola Harris kind of has taken us under her wing, so to speak, that we are now with her and actually exploring and day in the life of Paola Harris, really, and
yeah,
also
that's very interesting.
Figuring out what is going on in the grand scheme of it all, and realizing that a lot of things that we thought we knew, we really didn't know. So we're extremely excited to be here, and this is the beginning of what we choose to do for the rest of our lives, since my wife and we're going to be moving out soon and traveling the world, taking our camera everywhere, filming people, and just bringing more and more awareness to the public.
Yeah, and we're here with Paola Harris, who, oh my gosh, her life is really, really interesting. She goes around and does this field work. This is her life. And she's got so much information, and she knows of things because she goes and does the research and really communicates and interacts with the people who have had these experiences or who have the information. So,
right.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
She's a UFO/ET journalist, if you can call it that, where she's going around collecting all this awareness and compiling it in books and her research so she can go out to the public and really show a full picture awareness of what's going on in regards to the UFO/ET phenomena. So, do you want to go ahead and bring her on?
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for being with us here, Paola.
Thank you, Sol and Neil, and it's been fun. I mean, it's been a fun road trip, hasn't it?
It has.
Yes.
And right now, we're actually, all three of us are here around our laptop. We're in the hotel room in Roswell, and we're about to head out to the airport pretty soon. So, Paola, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Well, I am a journalist. I'm an investigative journalist. So just picture me being like a Barbara Walters, who went all around the world interviewing all these famous people. That's just my job, and it's really nice because everything I do is audio taped. So there's nothing that I put out in the general public that's a lie, because that's what the people told me, and I have the audio tape to back them up. I'm here in Roswell promoting my brand new book on Colonel Philip Corso. He was the biggest protagonist in the Roswell group, because he back engineered the artifacts from the Roswell crash, which meant he was at the Pentagon in 1960 when General Trudeau gave him these things and said, go to the big companies like Bell Labs and Monsanto and a lot of the other companies, and see how they can make them. And they were high tenacity fibers, night screening devices, fiber optics, the transistor, and the laser. So Colonel Corso had these things in 1960. The Air Force had them much before. And a lot of the stuff that's in the general public has been back engineered from crashes from these craft, these interplanetary craft, and they're not going to throw them in the trash. So you're going to try to find out how they work and what was inside and how that stuff works. So that book, Conversations with Colonel Corso, is on Amazon now. But since it's the 70th anniversary of the Roswell crash, I brought the book down and did a live stream with you guys yesterday, walking through the museum and giving the history of ufology. And even though 1945 was the first crash, 1947 Roswell is the Mecca of all, and the one everybody around the world knows, and in their minds the beginning of everything. But I wanna say a couple of things about Roswell. I mean, when the crash happened, and it was for everybody to remember, it was Independence Day. They say Independence Day, 4th of July.
Right.
So you can remember the date really well.
Yeah.
And then what was stationed here was the 509th Bomb Squadron, which are the Enola Gay, which dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I don't think that's a really nice anniversary to remember. I mean, but they were stationed here. So whatever was watching that situation, and there were many crashes in that area in 47, was watching our ability not only to have the atomic bomb on the planes ready to go, but the nuclear age and our ability to destroy ourselves. So I wanted to bring that forward to the general public, because this is not just an entertainment center. And you've seen all the stores with all the aliens and all this stuff. The city itself is a tourist attraction.
Yeah. But
it is a historical situation.
Yeah, it's become really much like Disneyland, as you say. And the truth is that there's a lot of things that occurred in... there's a lot of sightings and crashes that have occurred, and what we have come to realize from being with you over the last few days is that, as you said, it's tapped into the nuclear energy, that there's something going on with nuclear power in regards to extraterrestrial sightings. What's your take on that? Why do you think that they're even showing up around nuclear sites?
Well, it's like the kids discovering the matches. When we were working on it for a long time, but when the atomic bomb went off on July 16th, in Trinity, and we drove by there. You took a film of the plaque, right? Yeah. The Oppenheimer plaque that said, "I am death, the killer of worlds." Right. That quote from the Bhagavad Gita. We went along another timeline, a timeline that is going to make us or break us. And I love what Clifford Stone said yesterday at the museum when he was talking about North Korea. My God, we're still playing that game. Are they going to bomb us? Are we going to bomb them? If we bomb them, they bomb us. Everybody gets bombed. Game over. It's a chess game, and it began with the discovery of the atomic bomb. And so it was a historical pivotal point in history, and that's why this whole area is filled with. It's filled with these memories, which I don't think are too cool, of atomic bomb, 509 bomb, the squadron. In 45, the Trinity site, which is 3 hours away, you saw that, we drove by it, the first crash, and the fact that, and you can go into details because you guys know now, about the fact that Jose Padilla's family didn't know the bomb was going to go off. It looked like another son. His mother was blinded, the whole thing. He told you.
Yeah, they didn't tell anyone. The government didn't even tell the family, anyone. No one knew that they were going to have testing or anything. And I think that was the time that in 1945 that he saw the UFO crash site, because the UFOs were probably here checking it out and trying to help us out and making sure that it didn't happen. And I think, how you said that it's now become Disneyland here, and there's so many artifacts of the bomb and all this stuff. I think a lot of Americans tend to take pride in that. And to me, it's kind of somber. It's really somber. And like if, we went to go see the bomb piece or whatever, and I'm sure so many people, part of the atomic bomb we went to see, there's this little monument and this little, like a mini park created for it. And I'm kind of like, I don't even want to stand near it because it's radiation, and it's sad.
And the intention for what it was in the first place.
Yeah, just the energy of it just
it's not something to glorify.
Yeah.
No, because for many, how many people died of cancer in those cities. He said most of his family died of cancer. His mom and dad.
They're still dying of cancer.
And they're still dying in the cattle.
And all of the vegetation in the area was mutated, and it's still coming out kind of weird. So lots of stuff to do with the shift of the atomic bomb, and I'm sure the ETs are here and have been here to help us.
Right. I've heard a lot of awareness in the last 16 years, like ever since I got into this, about nuclear energy affecting other worlds. So I feel that the extraterrestrials could come here because that power of splitting the atom could maybe affect different dimensions. But now that we're on the 45 case, can you give us a little synopsis of what happened in 45?
Well, what happened was that there was...
With Jose Padilla.
Yeah, the Padilla family released 180,000 acres from the Bureau of Land Management, and the two little boys, and people say 6 and 9, but you heard Jose say that he was in diapers and learned to ride before he could learn to walk.
Yeah, it was a different time.
It was a different time. He was driving...
Kids had to work.
He had to work, he was driving a car at 9, they were riding horses, and so forth.
It's ranch life.
It's ranch life.
Different type of life, yeah.
So when he, went in this particular area, and there was a storm, and there's horrible thunder and lightning storms here in New Mexico. They were under a place where they could not be hit by lightning and thunder. They were on a hill and saw this craft come in, take out a radio tower. A piece broke off, and it burnt all the mesquite and all the trees in this area. And the boys watched it. They had binoculars. They watched it. They walked down into the little hill and that little valley that we walked in, and they actually saw the three beings. And the three beings were making a noise that sounded like they were hurt. And Jose wanted to go in, and he wanted to help them, but Remy started crying. Remy is a 6-year-old because he was afraid. Jose said he was sure they were hurt. The big piece had fallen off the craft, so their only recourse was to go back and tell their dad. They told the dad. They told Sheriff Apodaca, and the Army Air Force went down there to clean up the wreckage, the debris, and it took 8 days. But they also asked permission to cut the cattle guard gate because they said they were taking out a weather balloon. Now, a weather balloon...
The U.S. government.
Yeah. So when they were taking out the weather balloon, you don't take out a weather balloon through a gate. It was a craft, and the kids watched the whole 8 days of cleanup. So it's real because after the 8 days and the soldiers went to the El Bar and Cafe to celebrate, Jose himself, being a mischievous child, went in and with a crowbar pulled out a piece from the inside of the craft, which we have a picture of, which I've been dealing with. Some of these pieces have gone to the Roswell Museum.
Right.
Yeah. So because for some people, not for me, I prefer witness testimony, but for some people, pieces are the truth. They if you show somebody a piece, they believe it. The physical evidence. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. How did you guys feel when you heard Jose? Did you realize that he was telling the truth?
I feel his genuine honesty, and especially because he's not out for money or recognition. Right. He just wants people to know the historic facts and the truth, not only of what happened to his own family, but just the way everything was handled in the area, and for people to know that ETs have been coming here and are here probably for our betterment and to help us not bomb ourselves to smithereens.
Right. I also, I felt he was extremely genuine, and we went to the crash site and we saw the avocado-shaped area that nothing's growing on, that was filled in.
Yeah.
Something happened there, and it looks pretty much like exactly what he said. So I feel that his story is extremely genuine, and it's very interesting that it happened before 47, that it was like really the first case.
Well, yeah, because I mean, there are actually pictures, if you want to actually see them, of the bomb exploding and UFOs around it. You know, because, I mean, I think you open a portal, too. I mean, they talk about portals.
Right, let's talk about that.
Portals are very important. They're areas on the Earth where all the dimensions come together. And you heard Jose's story about seeing the monkey. You know, the big monkey. He said he chased it, you know, he saw the big monkey.
This was years later.
When he was 12.
What else did he see? He said he saw a soldier too, right?
No, they took photographs in their cameras, he and his wife, and in the photographs would appear soldiers and things that weren't really there. In other words,
in this area where the crash site was, in the vicinity, in the Padilla land. And we just actually found out that it's a Native American
sacred land
there. Yeah, so that must be definitely why the Native Americans had it as a sacred land. It is a portal. That area is a complete portal.
Yeah, you talked about Apache Geronimo being there. Remember, I told you all about Geronimo. Yeah. You know, and all this that, you know, we're sitting around talking about is part of history. When something is studied, or when you do research, if you're an investigative journalist or investigative reporter, the part that I find the most interesting is the history part. What happened there? You got to ask all the right questions. It's not just that something landed or something crashed or whatever. And this is my way of dealing with life all over the world. And I just want to know, and then I just want to put together pieces of the puzzle. So, and let's go to, you know, I've done this so many years that anymore, you know, the nuts and bolts stuff of it's real. It's real. I want to put it all together, but...
So we have about 30 seconds, so why don't we follow up with that after the commercial break?
Yeah, and stay tuned, stay with us. We will be right back.
Okay.
Follow us on Twitter for more great ideas at Voice America Empowerment.
Portal to Ascension takes you to the edge of what we perceive as reality. We exist to bring awareness to hidden ancient wisdom, our true world and galactic history, advanced technology, sound and frequency, sacred economics, conscious living, cosmic consciousness, and the ascension of humanity. Neil and Sol Gore are your facilitators for this experience. The time is now for the expansion of your consciousness. Participate in our online webinars. Visit portaltoascension.org. That's portaltoascension.org.
Live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Get motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You are listening to Portal to Ascension Radio with Neil and Sol Gore. To find out more about the program and to contact Neil and Sol directly, please visit our website at portaltoascension.org. Now back to this week's program.
Hey everyone, we are back and Paola Harris is with us. Please continue your thought.
Okay, well, I was saying that I've done all the nuts and bolts. I've worked with Dr. J. Allen Hynek. I've talked to Clifford Stone and all the witnesses. I've been with people that have been in the field, intelligence people, to tell the truth and so forth. And I think I've graduated into graduate school, and I want to make this clear because this is where I am now. I really want to see why we are having these visitations. I really do not believe that the symbol for the alien is a little gray thing running around. I think that is the extraterrestrial biological entity that Colonel Corso calls the clone. Those creatures are created in order to fly the ship. They become one with the ship. They have, in Colonel Corso's book, he's very clear that they have a 4-lobe brain, and there were 2 implants in 2 of the lobes, which meant that these people or these little things are implanted to fly a ship and to gather information. So I want to talk about our cosmic cousins. I'd rather go to whoever the races are that are visiting. And what shocked me about Clifford Stone's testimony, and this is after years of knowing him, was that the reason why he said there was 57 different races is because he had a manual on how to help these 57 different
medical
species.
Manual, right?
Medical manual. A medical manual is if they were hurt, how they could help them. How what not to use, what medicines not to use that will kill them, but how to help them in emergency situations. 57 different races, and you're looking at one, and you got to look at the manual to see how you could help that.
So the government wasn't trying to hurt them; they were trying to keep them alive.
Well, that's not all the government. Because some of the government wants to kill them and shoot them and doesn't want you to know about them. But the crash retrieval people, the people that actually went to the crashes and saw a being that was suffering.
Yeah.
And then those crash retrieving people are different from the CIA documents that you saw that they didn't want to deal with everything. So I'm in shock that there are 57 different races, and all we do in the circus of ufology is concentrate on the little UFO gray clone.
Right.
And
which isn't even the extraterrestrials.
No, it's like a clone. It's it's a biological entity. The people that are visiting, and if you can get a clue on the people, people go, well, they're Nordic. No, they're not all Nordic. The tall whites at Area 51 that Charles Hall talked about were not typical Nordic. They had such short hair, and they lived to be 700 years old. They were different. And the Pleiadians of Billy Meyer are different. And Antarel from South America, the Apunians, are different.
Yeah.
But these are people that are coming with messages. And I guess when I realized that is when I started looking at Starworks USA, my Laughlin conference, to try to bring in the contactees and the stories that had the messages. Otherwise, it's just all data.
Right.
Well, you're just a bunch of data you put in an encyclopedia. And then what? You say you don't answer the questions. Why is this happening? So it's happening because we have a chance to change our timeline. We have a chance to grow up. We have a chance to take responsibility with nuclear. And you heard Cliff yesterday saying how they activated the missiles in Russia to scare the living daylights out of the Russians, and they deactivated them here.
Yeah.
All 10 missiles at Maelstrom.
ETs.
The ETs. Now we don't know what group of ETs did that, but we're getting these messages. Don't play around with fire.
Yeah.
And I think it's important we talk about this on the radio show, considering the political situation of today. I saw the newspaper down about how tough we are in North Korea, and then the president says something's going to happen. Like what? Like, are we going to bomb them and they're going to bomb us and we're going to bomb each other to death? I mean, we need to look at the fact that somebody is warning us.
Right, and the most eye-opening experience for me on this is that I thought Roswell happened, maybe we reverse engineered some stuff, but that was the only real experience. Maybe it was some sort of agreement that happened with these beings that came here, but now I'm realizing that there was a crash retrieval team, and this was happening all the time, all over the U.S., all over the world, and they completely know about everything. It's not like they may know and it's just one interaction and then they found this craft. This has been happening. Yesterday, Cliff told us about something in 1897 in Texas where they buried an extraterrestrial, and they gave him a Christian birth because they're like, oh, well, he's a sentient being kind of thing, right? Burial. Yeah, he's a sentient being, so let's give him a Christian burial.
That's a famous case,
Right. So my mind is blown. I did not know that there were this many cases happening here. And what does this mean for us? Like, right now, these documents are coming out, and obviously Cliff was actually showing us these documents. But what does this mean for the future, and how are we going to get this awareness out to more and more people?
Okay, well, I hope I get a chance to do another presentation that I have called human-type aliens, because Adamski was involved in 1950 with people from Venus. And Glenn Steckling, who will be at Roswell, at Laughlin, will talk about the life of Adamski, because his father was Adamski's best friend, and George Adamski had his first contact with Orthon in San Diego, Palomar Gardens, in that area. And and Steckling shows me a Polaroid, and he says, the being is in this picture. Can you tell who it is? And it was a young guy with a suit. And I said, but they look like us. He says, no, these people used to come and sit on the couch when I was a kid. He said they were ETs. They were dressed in suits. They had blonde hair. They didn't age. They did not age. They were people. And they'd sit on the couch, and they would also accompany Adamski all through Europe. They were people. So that's one testimony of them being among us. And then I remember Cliff Stone said, they are among us. If they're among us, they look like us, and they're mixed in with everybody else. Right. And so the thing is that we have to get away from this ridiculous image that the ET is a little gray alien that just takes people, scares them to death, and abducts them for no reason.
Probes them.
Yeah, the situation is, like Cliff explained, that I already knew, because we had couple of cases in Italy that were human-type aliens. I mean, Eugenio Siracusa saw these blonde people. They were walking around his house. I got testimony that these blonde people with blue suits, look like space suits, were walking around his house. I've been to different countries, and now in South America, they're people. They go up to engineers and say, you're building that bridge, it's going to fall in 10 years. They actually go up. The biggest story I have, but I have to go to Peru to prove it, because I got all the testimonies still alive, is Van Ju, that walked into the Ecuadorian embassy. And he said, I am a commander. I am here to tell you that he said that you're going to have an earthquake, and you better move the people from that city, because the top of the mountain's going to fall on them. And they said, you're a commander of what? And he said, come outside. And the ship was over the embassy. The secretary's still there. And you know what the first words were? We could kill you. And he said, no, you can't. And he showed them a cubette around his neck. And he said, I'm being monitored. They know I'm down here. And they saw the inside of the ship, the controls and everything, on the cube. And he said, I'm telling you this. And they said, well, we want other information. If you are who you are, how many, tanks does the next person have over there? They asked them for military information. They did not move the people from that town. It is a very famous earthquake. 45,000 people died.
Wow.
After Van Ju came down to tell them, look, we know this.
Wow.
Because they know the future. I mean, they know what's going to happen.
Right.
So they're trying to say, you got a chance. We're just like you. We look like you. We've been through this ourselves. We've destroyed our planets. The Apunians destroyed their planet, and they're talking to Ricardo Gonzalez about what they went through. But the Apunians' message is ecological.
Right,
ecological. When I was in the Atacama Desert with Ricardo, he came back from a contact on the hill with a real physical person. The message was, you're going to have a war over water. Water. You're going to have your earth is being scorched. Your seasons are changing. You need to have rules in place, and we just completely kill the EPA right now. And global warming is not a hoax. They know it's not a hoax, and they said, get a clue. You want to save this planet? You better do it now, because the Apunians' demise came from ecological problems. Ecological. They didn't take care of their planet. So I would love to just have a dialogue. If somebody said, well, you want to talk to somebody, I'd say the Native Americans. Yeah. Let's sit and talk to them. They knew Mother Earth. They knew that we were related to Mother Earth. They knew that whatever we did would fall upon us. And here we are thinking about money. And their famous quote is, you can't eat money.
Yeah. That's funny. We've gone into a world where we have disconnected from the planet. And back in the day, in the indigenous times, everybody knew that we were one with nature, and nature was one with us. And a good example of that is trees give us oxygen, and we give them something. We're connected to everything inherently. and we've disconnected so much that we're just taking advantage of our planet. So an awareness of how we're interconnected with each other and our planet is really what's needed right now.
Yes, and that's where I'd like to go, Neil, even though I got so much data. My God, all my books are filled with, I've got the Philadelphia experiment in there. I've got, oh my God, I got the bomb testing in the Pacific in there. I've got all kinds of military witnesses and so forth. I realize that we know it's real. I don't want to play around anymore. We know it's real. I mean, you've been here, you know it's real because you're in Roswell. You know the pieces. You've seen all the proof. But it's time to do something. So I hope Portal to Ascension and different entities that want to really do something will do something, because otherwise it's a waste of time to just keep bringing out the evidence.
Information.
We need to shift as a unit, as a community, and gather our forces, if you will, for good.
Higher consciousness.
Higher consciousness. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, I just thought of something really cool, because I'm doing Laughlin. Let's talk about my conference in Laughlin. Is very important that it's supported. Okay, it's called The Evolution of Human Consciousness. It's November 10th to 12th this year at the Aquarius Hotel. And the reason why we're having it in Laughlin is because it's a cheaper venue. I'd rather the people only paid $39 for their hotel than all kinds of money. And the conference is 18 speakers, gala dinner, cocktail party, and 2 movies, and it's very reasonable. But I want something to come of it. I want people to be inspired enough to go and plant a garden, a communal garden, or plant trees, or communicate with the stars, do stargazing. I want something to come of it so that the extraterrestrial visitors and our community knows that we don't want whatever bad stuff could happen to happen. And the only way you could do that is to gather people around with that kind of intention. You have to gather them and say, okay, so can one person make a difference? Yes. Did Gandhi make a difference? Yes. Did Martin Luther King make a difference? Yes. One person can make a difference. But when people unite and see that we are one with the cosmos, that it is not about money, economy, and killing your brother and sister on this planet. It is not about that. I mean, anybody that has a brain knows that it's not about that. That we can, all of us together, do something. So I don't want to just be branded as Paola Harris, the ufologist.
Right.
I want to be Paola Harris, the cosmic ambassador.
Awesome.
That is what you are.
I want to do that kind of stuff. I mean, at this age, I've done all the data. I couldn't do any more. So, and thank you for supporting my work.
Of course. And I've said on this show, probably with this third show and the other 2 shows, I've said it before, that what connects the ET UFO awareness to spirituality, because a lot of people in day-to-day life, if you talk about extraterrestrials and then you start talking about meditation, the regular Joe Blow on the street will be like, what? Doesn't make sense to them. And it's really about the frequency and the vibration, that a lot of these beings that even Clifford Stone was talking about are spiritual in essence, and they have a spiritual message for us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and they don't speak English, Japanese, Chinese, and everything. They do direct thought transfer. In other words, if they're going to meet you and they have to communicate with you, they're going to do it through telepathy. Telepathy, meditation, and those kinds of communications should be taught in grammar school. That it's okay to have ESP, that it's okay to communicate, to do creative visualization. Because these are the communication devices that these cultures use on us.
Yeah.
The reason why they use Cliff Stone is because he was psychic, because they knew that if he sat in a room and they were projecting in his mind what they needed, he would pick it up. That he's not just somebody off the street, he had an experience and he was psychic. So, and the whole idea of psychics being involved in this, or meditation, you want to go into meditation, it's all connected. The meditation, the quieting of the mind, the receiving of the messages, it's all connected. So anybody that is in this field that has any kind of intelligence will know that the meditation, the raising of the vibration, and you can even go into the diet part, the cleansing of your body, and being a pure vessel, detoxing, and also by the way, part of the detoxing should be a TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, there is a one
TV.
time I watch television where somebody isn't killing somebody. You see the whole blood, you see the inside guts, and they're doing autopsies on television. Desensitizes you that is a human being. That and that shooting is normal.
Yeah,
you know, and so I think a lot of the detoxing, because you were talking about the meditation you went on for 10 days or whatever, is not to see these horrible, violent images which become normal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, detoxing completely. And what you were mentioning that Neil and I go on is Vipassana. Vipassana, which is silent meditation, and you go into usually like a nice woods area or something, and you just meditate.
Like
and you
8 hours a day.
become one with everything. Like you stop and literally smell the flowers because there is nothing else out there, and you're like in awe of the night sky in the morning, and the morning sun coming out. So that's what we need to get in touch with, so that we can have not only compassion for ourselves, but compassion for everyone and everyone in the universe and universes.
Right.
Well, exactly true. I mean, it's the answer is simple. It's hard to do because we live in a world that needs economy and money and so forth. Some people do whatever it takes to get it, but it's not the final answer. I mean, for people that are searching for answers, the answer is that we are one. That we are one with all the people on the planet, and we are one with the cosmos, and whoever is visiting, we are one. And if you get into the evil thing, you're going to attract that. If all you can think about is evil, they're going to kill you and everything. You'll attract demons, and there's different dimensions. You'll attract the negative energy.
Yeah.
And what attracts the negative energy the most is fear.
Mm-hmm.
And fear is one of those things that is a very negative emotion.
Right.
So it's either fear or love. It's either one or the other, and that's even in our own community of UFOs. It's filled with fear-based craziness.
Whatever you choose, you perpetuate. You choose fear, it's just going to ripple effect. You choose love, and that will create for yourself. So what about the negative extraterrestrials? What do you think about that? Do they exist?
I think no. I mean, do they exist? Well, I believe what Cliff believes. I believe what Stephen Greer believes, and Carol Rosin, and the people that are intellectual believe that whoever's visiting here doesn't need to deal with humanity, except to give messages that not to repeat what they've lived through. As far as negative, Cliff mentioned rogue elements. Mm-hmm. Rogue elements means power-hungry, beings. There could be a few of those. But the specific incidents that we talked about, the ones he talked about in Vietnam, the ones that were here, look, those little beings that saw Jose Padilla and his brother, and his friend, could have done something to him. Because they landed, they crashed, they didn't do anything to us even after we exploded the atomic bomb. They didn't do anything to those missiles in Maelstrom except shut them down. They didn't destroy the base. They didn't do anything in Russia except appear. It's like they're saying, we are here. To me, they're benign. They're not good or bad. They just are.
They just are.
They just are. They just are. There's no good or bad. I mean, can you imagine them coming here and watching what we're doing? Pedophile. Killing each other, bank robberies, rapes, murders. What are they going to say about human beings? Are they going to say, if somebody says, are human beings good or bad, what would you say?
Yeah, we're both.
We're both.
Yeah.
We're both.
Right. And a lot of these beings, as Cliff was saying, have kind of even think of us as rodents or just ants even, but it's not that they have this negative
primitive.
Yeah, they think of us as primitive, and it's like, oh, they're just some ants, just like we would be walking on the street and accidentally step on one, right? Yeah. So it's not even that they hate us or anything. It's just that we're the lower civilization, a primitive civilization that really isn't on their level. So they don't even give us the time of day, or they're just observing us to see what impact we're going to have.
As long as we don't have the impact of destroying everything, they're kind of just here to watch.
Well, actually, I call them cosmic anthropologists. Yeah. That's because they watch. They watch how you live. They watch They're watching to see if we can surpass our technological age and our spirituality will go along with our technology. You can be high tech, and we're talking high tech now because you're doing high tech stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a spirituality that matches the high tech.
Right,
and it
right.
has to go together. If high tech gets so high tech that you're destroying people,
Right.
Then what's the point of it?
yeah, I know. The problem is that they're watching and spirituality means just a sense of ethics, not religion,
Yeah.
but a sense of ethics. What's good, or, what you do that is ethical.
Right, and we only have a few minutes, 1 minute left, and we're going to go to commercial break and bring you back on. But what you're saying is that we need to have our consciousness connected to our technology, right?
Right.
Have more of a spiritual connection to it, and we've got this externalized world right now where technology and us are separate beings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've heard in past civilizations they've actually had a connection with their consciousness and technology. So, I know the craft that they found over in 45 or 47, the beings actually use their own consciousness to travel interdimensionally and through their portal.
Yeah, right. With your mind, you could do anything with your mind.
Right. Okay, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break, everyone, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you.
This is the home of the top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success drivers. The Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Portal to Ascension takes you to the edge of what we perceive as reality. We exist to bring awareness to hidden ancient wisdom, our true world and galactic history, advanced technology, sound and frequency, sacred economics, conscious living, cosmic consciousness, and the ascension of humanity. Neil and Sol Gore are your facilitators for this experience. The time is now for the expansion of your consciousness. Participate in our online webinars. Visit portaltoascension.org. That's portaltoascension.org.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to Portal to Ascension Radio with Neil and Sol Gore. To find out more about the program and to contact Neil and Sol directly, please visit our website at portaltoascension.org. Now back to this week's program.
All right, we're back, everybody, with Paola Harris. And now we want to go into talking about her conference because she's really created something amazing. And she's been doing this for quite some time. I think it's been over 10 years, but this event is something new. It's not just nuts and bolts information. It really has this spiritual connection. So, Paola, why don't you tell us about the experience and what we can expect there?
Well, actually, the Laughlin Conference in November 10th through 12th is a theme-based, because last year was music, art, and UFOs, and we had all the art and all the music. We had Grant Cameron speak about how the famous musicians were downloaded by T's like John Lennon to try to cause social change. So I have a theme. A theme this year is Time for Truth. It's pretty nuts and boltsy because there's Clifford Stone who's going to be questioned by George Nuri. And Sol, if you want to say something about your feelings about Clifford and meeting him.
Meeting Clifford, oh my gosh, I fell in love with him because the information is true and because he is a genuine person, and all he wants, like from the moment you meet him, is to give the information and to make sure that everyone has a sense of what he has experienced, and so that someone can believe his story.
And he's a military man.
Yeah, and he's a military man who's been in it. What was he, like 25 years in the military or something?
Yeah, because they got him at 16 because they needed him for his skills.
Yeah.
So he will be questioned on the stage by George Nuri of Coast to Coast, and of course, George Nuri is, everybody knows who he is. He's our resident radio personality who does the paranormal, mysterious, and UFOs. And we're bringing in George this year too, because he's a lot of fun. But we have people like Carol Rosin who wants a peace treaty so we won't weaponize space, and she worked with Werner von Braun, we're bringing in Heather Ariel, who is an astrologer, but when she does your chart, she's super psychic. She also writes, she's from New York City, so she writes plays for Broadway. She's wonderful. And Andrea Perron, whose family was the subject of The Conjuring. They lived in Rhode Island, and the place they lived in had real, scary events happening because of unresolved issues. And she wrote the book, The House of Darkness, House of Light. And she loves UFOs. I mean, she'll talk about the ETs and UFOs as part of her talk, and also people like J.J. Hurtak and Desiree, who talk about the Keys of Enoch. And Regina Meredith will go back to the Anunnaki times and talk about the ancient alien situation. Haktan Octagon from Turkey has the most incredible UFO footage. Everybody's seen that chevron-shaped UFO with the two beings that they actually captured with video. Jaime Maussan will bring videos also from Mexico City, and he does the latest. So people are saying, well, there are no more sightings. When you see Jaime, it goes on for an hour and a half, all the videos. And then, of course, the thing that I really love, Ruben Uriarte, who is from MUFON, who has great stories to tell about his research. I really love to bring the Latin Americans, because the Latin Americans have physical contact with human-type UFOs. So we have Sisto Paz Wells, who is like the godfather of the contactee movement in South America from the 1970s and 80s, who met Axel. This is after being in the desert and for a week of fasting and just juice only, intense, waiting for these people to land. Do they land? Yeah, because there's a preparation, and your intent is not just like a circus to watch them, but they actually land, walk over to you, and they communicate with you. And Sisto will talk about the communications, and Enrique Villanueva, who was under Sisto Paz, as far as he was one of the initiates under Sisto, who lives in California, speaks beautiful English, and is doing now therapy along the changing of your timeline, so you have a different future. So both Enrique Villanueva and Sisto Paz are where I am, and Ricardo Gonzalez, in that the messages that we're getting from Latin America are the serious messages now that need to be told around the world, because it's 2017. I was with Ricardo in the Atacama Desert in 2016. I'm on my way to Spain, to Monte Perdido, with Ricardo Gonzalez in a mass peace meditation this year. I will talk about that in Laughlin. So, and what happens during these meditations under the stars? They appear, the ships appear over your head. So these are things, the consciousness element, which is really basically consciousness, is waking up. That's it, just wake up, is the most important element of the conference, the consciousness expanding.
Right.
Just wake up and understand what's going on.
It's the same message that the beings that are visiting us are giving us too. Just wake up. Wake up to yourselves, wake up to your planet,
exactly.
Wake up to each other. We're all here together. We're an integral part of this human family. These extraterrestrials, I believe we're connected to on some level, ancestrally or whatever, right? So how connected are we with each other?
Well, that's. I'm glad you mentioned that, but that's your heritage. You have a very spiritual heritage. You started with us. You got to start with yourself. You mentioned that. You got to start with yourself. You can't just wake up. You wake up to yourself. Then you wake up to each other. Then you wake up to the planet.
Yeah, you have to shift yourself, and like you said, get yourself cleansed, and then see
That's why disclosure starts from within.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's true. I mean, it's not an outward thing, no.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people want to face it that way, It's that's why maybe the esoteric should get together with the data people.
Yeah, that's what you're doing here.
That's what we're
doing. You're marrying the two, so that's exactly what's needed.
You have to marry the two. I want to tell you a really quick story. Edgar Mitchell told me that when he was on the moon, they would be playing the ESP game. He'd have the cards, the circle, the square, the diamond. And he had contracted with people in Florida, to meditate on that symbol, and then they would pick it up. He said the experiments were 99% successful. That means he was projecting his thoughts from the moon.
Wow.
That thought is so powerful that they're looking at, at 5 o'clock, they're looking at the cards, and they start recording what they're getting. from Edgar, who's on the moon.
Wow. And I never heard that
he told me about that, but I had read about that.
Wow.
That's why he when he came back, he started Noetic Sciences. He didn't go back into engineering in NASA.
Right.
He started the Institute for Noetic Sciences, which is basically ESP, the quantum, not entanglement. I don't know if you've heard of entanglement, or they call it non-locality.
Yeah.
When one atom is stimulated here, it's also stimulated through.
It shows how we're all connected.
Yeah, that is what he did, which is what I see Clifford doing a lot, is proving his experience. He had an experience on the moon. He had an epiphany. He felt one with the stars when he was traveling. And then he has to go to science to prove it, because people don't believe it.
Yeah.
Now that they tell you, I feel this, or I saw this, or I lived this, and people say, no, it's scientifically impossible.
Right.
So that's where Edgar Mitchell went, to Noetic Sciences, to quantum physics, to prove the quantum, in quantum mechanics, that everything is united. He had to go do that to explain his experience.
Yeah.
So, do we have it all? Yeah. If you want to look at it, you look at the work of Dean Radin, who is Noetic Sciences, Russell Targ, all Edgar Mitchell's Noetic Sciences. He's sixth man to walk on the moon. These are not people off the street. This is not something to laugh at, and for me, it's not a game.
Right.
Yeah, they had to be, in order to go to the moon, you have to go through some intense physical, mental training of all kinds, and they have to, like you said, you're not just anyone off the street. Because
these are intellectuals.
Yeah.
And to give them more credibility, right, for the mass public.
Well, he's also an engineer from NASA. He was an astronaut. If you can't believe an astronaut, Gordon Cooper, who actually saw a landing, these guys. But you know something anymore, if you don't believe, or if you don't want to play in this arena, I always say to my friends, don't force this on people.
Yeah.
They're not ready for it.
That's a hard lesson to learn. When you wake up and you're like, but people, everyone should listen.
No, but they're not ready.
Yeah.
There's some people that are not ready. What I'm encouraging is the people that are ready to sign up for Laughlin. The website is www.starworksusa.com. www.starworksusa.com. And the early bird finishes June 1st, and we need those funds to bring in the foreigners.
Yeah, so please, everybody, join us and be at the event. Please try to attend and contribute to this awareness, because it's time for the information to come out. And the StarWorks conference, I've been to many UFO conferences and consciousness conferences, and this is probably one of my favorites. And we only got to stay there for a day and a half out of the 3 days, but I had so much fun I didn't even want to leave the next day. There was just so many beautiful people there. Every interaction was great. The venue was incredible. And it's just a really good experience for everybody to come and be a part of. There's something beautiful when people come together to share this energy. We create that epic bubble and that vibration, and we send it out into the cosmos. So you really should join us in November so that we can create that energy together and send it out to the universe.
And you will be live streaming, and we'll announce more later about the live streaming.
So the event will be live streamed. I highly recommend coming and attending live. If you're somewhere in the planet where you can't come out, we will be live streaming it, and within a few months, I think around September, we'll be launching and letting you guys know about that too. So before we wrap up, let us know about what the next step is for you in regards to your research. Are you traveling anywhere soon? Do you have any more?
I leave for May 31st for Italy. The Corso book, the Europeans want the translation of The Day After Roswell, the Dawn of a New Age, which is his real notes, and my book, Conversations with Colonel Corso. So on the 11th of June, I will be at a huge conference in Rome about that. Then I will also research a case in Genoa. Since I'm there anyway, I research UFO cases of a contactee in Genoa who deals with very, very tall beings, visited him for 27 years, and he is a security guard, so that the police is involved in this. They see him disappear on the mountain. They follow him. It's very well documented, and he wants me to come and finish the case, and I'll go do it, and I'll put it out there, but it's an Italian case, and there's so many different cases, and I'll end my vacation, if you want to call it that, in Spain on the 23rd of June under the stars on the French-Spanish border and near Barcelona. Mm-hmm. It's Monte Perdido, very sacred spot, with Ricardo Gonzalez, and about 300 people who are going to really meditate for peace to change this very dangerous timeline that we are on now.
Yeah.
This is not Disneyland. We are watching this play out with all countries of the world on television, and we're in a war zone. We're in emergency mode. So does it work? Yeah, meditation works when you have that many people meditating for peace, because somewhere what we're doing is we're asking for help. We're asking that the dynamic change, and it works. So I also recommend maybe on the 23rd of June, the people personally meditate.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, join us in meditating. Do you have a time?
I don't know.
23rd of June.
It's in Barcelona, so I have to...
Just energize, throw some energy out there from your soul, from your beingness, and help us raise the vibe.
Yeah.
Put it in your calendars right now, everyone.
Yes, please.
Because you don't want we don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
23rd or 26th? June
23rd.
June 23rd.
And, have you ever heard of the group of people that meditated in D.C. and then the crime stats went down the following day, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's actually common knowledge.
That's
and this was
common
actually
knowledge.
mainstream science that proved this. So, when we all get together in numbers and we all have a collective intention to raise the frequencies and empower ourselves, everything changes. We shift timelines, right?
Yeah, there was also a group that was on their way to go see the crop circles, I think in England, and they raised the vibe and they were meditating, just like you said, that the ESP cards of the circles and the squares or whatever, and they meditated on something, and they created a crop circle with whatever they were intending to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we as a collective can shift everything.
But you have to want to, and I really want to tell your listeners, we're in an emergency mode right now. This is not this is a
crucial time.
It's a crucial time, and we didn't cause it necessarily, but we need to change it.
Right. So thank you, Paula. We have around 30 seconds. Please just give us again your websites where we can find out more information about you, and thank you so much.
Well, my personal website is Paola, Paola Harris.com, and the other one that has Laughlin Conference is www.starworksusa.com. Starworks USA. Look at all the speakers, and we'll see you guys there. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being with us. Thank you for allowing us to hang out with you. Portal to Ascension with Paola Harris. Thank you so much for being with us. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. We love you.
Thank you for joining us for Portal to Ascension Radio. We invite you to return for another session of our program next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Gratitude, love, and abundance until we meet again.
Thanks again for listening to the preceding program, brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the preceding program are strictly those of the host or